Have you ever had days when nothing is seriously wrong in your life? Yet your chest feels tight, your breath is shallow, and it is as if your heart is wrapped in a rope you cannot see or cut. Have you ever lain awake at night, scrolling through your phone or staring at the ceiling, thinking that you should be okay? Yet deep inside something feels twisted, tangled, and impossible to relax. Welcome back to the channel, my friend. I am really glad you found your way here today. If your inner world often feels like a ball of tightly wound thread, if people around you say you look fine but you know there is a storm just under your ribs, then this conversation is for you. Today we are going to talk about those invisible knots in the heart, the worries that never stop, the regrets you cannot put down, the grudges that sit in the corner like shadows, and the fears that squeeze your joy until it is hard to breathe. The core idea we are exploring is this: our hearts are full of knots of attachment, fear, guilt, misunderstanding, old memories, and stubborn expectation. These knots do not form overnight. They are tied slowly, sometimes over years, sometimes over lifetimes. Each time we cling, each time we refuse to forgive, each time we run away from pain instead of facing it with awareness, we twist another strand of rope around the heart. Over time, we end up living with a chest full of invisible tangles. But here is the good news. Those knots can be loosened. You do not have to cut your heart open and throw it away. You do not have to erase your past or become a different person. What you can do is learn how to see the knots clearly, understand what tied them, and gently untangle them with wisdom, compassion, and practice. When you learn this art of letting go, your life does not have to change dramatically on the outside for it to feel completely different on the inside. In this long story-filled sharing, we are going to walk through these knots together. We will talk about the knot of regret, the knot of resentment, the knot of worry, the knot of perfectionism, the knot of grief, the knot of self-hatred, and the knot of old love that never seems to fade. We will listen to the stories of people whose hearts were idly bound and how they slowly found space again. And we will keep returning to the central themes of awakening: wisdom, karma, compassion, practice, and the mysterious way destiny softens when the heart loosens. So take a breath. Right now, wherever you are, you do not have to force it. Just notice it. Let us begin. Imagine there is a woman named Mia. On paper, her life is fine. She has a steady job, a small apartment, enough money to buy food and occasionally treat herself. She is not in danger, not starving, not homeless. When colleagues complain about their problems, she sometimes feels guilty, thinking, I actually have it pretty good. Why can I not just be happy? Yet when she wakes up in the morning, her first sensation is not gratitude or lightness. It is a vague heaviness under her collarbone, a stiffness in her throat, as if she has been silently clenching all night. She gets ready, rides the train to work, answers emails, attends meetings. She can laugh at office jokes, talk about projects, even comfort others. But there are moments, especially when she is alone, when something inside her pulls tight for no clear reason. A memory flashes. A phrase someone said years ago appears in her mind. A sudden fear about the future grips her. Her heart feels like a fist. If you ask her what is wrong, she might say, I do not even know. It is like my heart is in a knot. She is not unique. Many people live like this. They are functional. They are outwardly normal. But inside, their hearts are cramped with unspoken stories, unanswered questions, and unresolved sorrow. When ancient teachers said that the heart has thousands of knots, they were not exaggerating. Think of each knot as a place where energy could be flowing but is stuck instead. Every should have, could have, why did this happen to me? I will never forgive. I am not enough. I must not fail is a little twist, a little tightening. Let us look at some of these knots one by one. not as abstract concepts, but as living experiences. The knot of regret is one of the most common, and one of the most painful. Picture a man in his 40s named Daniel. Years ago, he had the chance to move abroad with a scholarship. He was accepted to a program he had dreamed about. But his parents were aging. His partner was unsure. And his own fear whispered, "What if you fail and come back with nothing?" He chose to stay. Life went on. He built a career, had a family, found stability. But sometimes, especially when he meets an old friend who did go abroad, a sharp pain pierces his chest. He thinks, if only I had been braver. Maybe my life would be completely different now. That sentence, "if only I had," is the tightening of the regret knot. Every time he repeats it, he pulls the rope a little more. He is not just remembering a past decision. He is punishing himself for it again and again. In the language of cause and effect, the choice is already made. It shaped his path, leading him to where he is now. But in his mind, he keeps fighting with a ghost version of himself who took the other road. He is not living fully in his actual life, nor is he able to step into the imaginary one. He is stuck between two worlds, and his heart pays the price. The way out of this knot is not to pretend that everything is perfect. It is to see clearly that regret, when it keeps circling without leading to learning or action, is a form of self-minus cruelty. It is like scratching a wound that is trying to heal. Imagine if Daniel sat down one day and said to himself, "I was afraid back then. I did not trust myself. I made the best decision I could with the courage I had at that time. Now I can see more clearly. Instead of torturing myself with 'if only,' I can ask, what can I do now with the life I actually have?" If he looks carefully, he might see that the qualities he admired about the abroad version of himself were curiosity, growth, expansion, challenge. Those qualities are not available only in a foreign country. They are qualities of the heart. He could learn a language now, take online courses, travel for short periods, change jobs, or shift his attitude toward his current work. None of these choices will magically erase the past, but each step taken from acceptance rather than regret loosens the knot a little. A spiritual perspective adds another dimension. Maybe staying was also part of his karmic path. Maybe his presence was needed to support his aging parents, to raise his children, to encounter certain experiences only available in his own country. Maybe the missed opportunity protected him from a disaster he will never know about. We cannot see all of that clearly, but we can choose whether we use our limited view to torture ourselves or to grow. Now let us look at the knot of resentment. This knot often begins with real pain. Someone betrayed you, lied to you, used you, humiliated you. The hurt was not imagined. It cut deep. At the moment it happened, you may not have had the tools to process it, so your mind did what it could. It wrapped the pain in layers of anger and slammed a lock on it. On the surface, resentment looks like power. "I will never forgive you. I will never forget what you did. I will carry this anger so you know how much you hurt me." But underneath, resentment is a heavy chain tied around your own ankle. Imagine a woman named Hannah. In her 20s, she poured her heart into a relationship. She sacrificed her own dreams, helped her partner through school, supported his projects, forgave his selfishness again and again. She believed they were building a future together. One day, she discovered he had been cheating on her for months. He left without much explanation, moving on quickly to someone else. Her world collapsed. Friends told her, "You will get over it. Time heals." But time did not heal. It only hardened something inside. Years later, when someone mentions his name, or when she hears a song that used to play when they were together, her jaw tightens. Her stomach freezes. She says, "I am over him." But if you ask her whether she has forgiven, she replies immediately, "Never." She believes that holding on to that refusal protects her. She thinks, "If I forgive, it means what he did was okay. It means I am weak." In truth, It means she is still allowing him to live inside her nervous system. Forgiveness on the spiritual path does not mean pretending the harm did not happen. It does not mean trusting the person again blindly. It does not mean inviting them back into your life. It means you stop stabbing yourself with the memory every time it arises. From a karmic perspective, his actions created their own heavy consequences. He planted seeds that will bear bitter fruit for him someday, in ways you do not have to manage. Your work is to stop watering your own suffering. When Hannah finally sits with her pain, allowing herself to cry not just from anger but from grief, she starts to see the deeper knot. Beneath "I will not forgive him" is "I am afraid I was not worthy of being loved well." Beneath the hard shell is a broken heart that needs tenderness, not more punishment. In quiet moments, perhaps while listening to a teaching, or during a slow walk, she might try a different sentence. "What he did was wrong. I suffered. But I refuse to let this define my entire life. I release the right to keep hurting myself because of his choices." Forgiveness, then, becomes an act of self minus compassion. It is not a gift to the other person. It is a key that unlocks your own prison. This loosening does not happen in one step. Resentment is often tied with many strands. Fear, identity, story. But each time you choose not to replay the old movie for the 1000th time, each time you turn your attention to healing rather than judging, the knot softens. Next is the knot of worry. Some people are born with more sensitive nervous system. Others are trained into worry by their environment. Either way, constant anxiety is like a vibrating string in the chest that never stops. Imagine someone like Leo. As a child, he watched his parents struggle financially. They fought about money late into the night. Thinking he was asleep, he learned early that life can fall apart quickly. Now, as an adult, even when his situation is relatively stable, his mind is always scanning for threats. At work, he imagines being fired. In relationships, he imagines being abandoned. In health, he imagines sudden illness. If you tell him, "Just relax," it feels like an insult. He would love to relax, but he does not know how. His worry has become a habit, a mental groove so deep that his thoughts slide into it automatically. Spiritual teachings often talk about impermanence. Everything is changing. Nothing can be held. For someone like Leo, hearing that can either be terrifying or liberating. If he hears it with fear, it becomes another reason to worry. See, nothing is safe. If he hears it with wisdom, it becomes a reminder, because everything is changing. My fears are also not permanent. The worst minus case scenarios in my mind are just images, not reality. The knot of worry loosens not by pretending that nothing bad will ever happen, but by training the mind to stay in reality rather than constantly leaping into imagined catastrophe. One very practical way is to gently separate what is happening now from the story I am in. For example, if a manager sends a short message, "We need to talk tomorrow," Leo's stomach jumps. His mind instantly paints a picture. He is being fired. His savings will run out. He will not pay rent. He will disappoint his family. He will end up alone. But right now, in this present moment, what is actually happening? There is only a message on a screen. The rest is his mind's film. When he learns to pause and ask, "What do I actually know right now?" he starts to cut one strand of the worry knot. He can still prepare for possibilities without collapsing into them emotionally. On a deeper level, worry often hides a lack of trust, not blind trust that everything will be good, but a deeper trust that whatever comes, he will meet it step by step. From a karmic point of view, the future is not fixed, but it is shaped by current causes. If Leo uses all his mental energy to rehearse disasters, he has less energy to create good causes through action. When he slowly shifts from endless worrying to useful doing, updating his skills, nurturing relationships, practicing mindfulness, Being generous, he plants seeds that genuinely reduce the probability of disaster and increase the strength of his inner resilience. To untie the worry knot is to move from imagination to presence, from helpless fear to active wisdom. Now let us talk about a particularly stubborn knot, the knot of self minus hatred. This knot often forms from small cuts repeated over and over: criticism in childhood, failure after failure, comparisons, internalized voices that say, "You are not good enough. You are a disappointment. You are fundamentally wrong." Imagine a young woman named Sarah. From the outside, she appears successful. She has a good job, dresses well, posts photos of outings with friends. But when she makes a minor mistake, her inner dialogue is brutal. "You idiot. You always mess things up. No wonder people do not really like you." If you listen to the way she talks to herself in her mind, you would be shocked. She would never speak that way to a friend. In spiritual language, she has turned her mind into a weapon against itself. Every time she whips herself with those sentences, she tightens the knot. From the perspective of karma and cause and effect, this kind of self-hatred is also planting seeds. When you continually tell yourself you are worthless, you are more likely to tolerate toxic relationships, to sabotage opportunities, to hide from growth. The world then reflects back the same message your own mind keeps broadcasting. How can this knot loosen? First, by recognizing that hatred, even directed at yourself, is still hatred. It is not noble. It is not a moral duty. It does not make you a better person. It only drains your strength to actually change. Imagine if a teacher wanted their student to improve at a subject. Would they stand over the student and shout, "You are stupid. You are hopeless. I hate you," every time they made an error? Of course not. That would crush the student. Yet many of us do exactly that to ourselves internally, then wonder why we feel no motivation. In the teachings, there is the idea that every being has basic goodness or Buddha nature, a fundamental capacity for wisdom and compassion, no matter how covered it is by confusion. From this view, self-hatred is a tragic misunderstanding. It is like seeing a diamond covered in mud and declaring that it is just a rock. To untie this knot, Sarah might start with very small changes. When she catches herself saying, "You are so stupid," she pauses and corrects, "I made a mistake. That does not mean I am worthless." It may feel fake at first, but little by little, she is retraining her mental language. She might also practice seeing herself as one of many beings in the great web of life who are struggling, falling. Whatever she has done, countless others have done something similar. She is not uniquely horrible. She is human in the middle of a messy process. Real repentance, when she has caused harm, is important. But repentance is not the same as self-hatred. Repentance says, "I am sorry. I see clearly now. I will try to do better." Self-hatred says, "I am rotten to the core." Only one of these leads to growth. Compassion applied inward is not indulgence. It is oxygen. Without it, you suffocate and cannot walk the path. Another huge knot is the knot of love that has ended but not left the heart. Many people say, "I cannot let go of my ex." They think they are holding on to a person. Often, they are actually holding on to an idea, a version of themselves that existed in that relationship. Consider someone named Emily. She was with her partner for 5 years. They shared dreams, planned a future, met each other's families. When the relationship ended, maybe because they grew in different directions, maybe because of betrayal, maybe simply because the bond thinned, she felt as if her entire identity was torn. Friends encouraged her to date again. Some said, "Just move on. Time will heal." She tried. She went on dates, chatted with new people, even met someone objectively kind. But every time, her mind compared, "He is not as funny as my ex. He does not understand me the same way. The way he holds my hand feels different." She tells herself, "There is only one person in the world who will ever love me that deeply." I lost him. My best chance is gone. This belief is a tight knot. It keeps her half-minus facing backward, unable to fully open to the present. Spiritual wisdom invites her to look deeper. What exactly is she missing? Is it the person, with all his flaws and history? Or is it the experiences through him? Feeling seen, feeling desired, feeling playful, feeling safe. If she realizes it is the quality she loves: connection, understanding, intimacy, then she can see that these qualities are not locked inside one human body. They are states that arise between two hearts when conditions are right. Her ex was one set of conditions. There can be others. It will never be exactly the same, because she is not the same person anymore. But different does not mean worse. There is also the karmic view. People come into our lives to complete certain lessons, to exchange certain debts or blessings, to mirror certain parts of us. When those lessons are complete, sometimes the relationship naturally dissolves. Holding on past that point is like refusing to let go of a book after you have finished reading it. Insisting on rereading the same chapter forever because you are afraid the next book might not be as good. Letting go here does not mean erasing memories. It means placing them gently on a shelf, honoring what they gave you, and freeing yourself to live your current life. When Emily stops romanticizing the past and starts paying attention to real interactions in the present, she may discover that the new person in front of her has different strengths, maybe more emotional maturity, maybe more steadiness, maybe a gentler heart, or she may realize she prefers to be alone for a while and explore her own path. Both are valid. What matters is that her choices come from a free heart, not from a knotted one. So how do we practically learn to see and untie these knots? One powerful tool is honest self minus observation. Not in the sense of harsh self minus criticism, but in the sense of curious watching. When your chest tightens, when your jaw clenches, when your stomach flips, pause and ask, what thought just passed through my mind? What story did I just tell myself? Maybe it was, I always mess up, or no one really cares about me, or I have to control everything, or it will fall apart, or I will never find love again. Each of these thoughts is a strand of rope. When you see it clearly and name it, you are holding the rope in your hands instead of being strangled by it. The next step is to examine whether the thought is absolutely true. Not partially, not sometimes, but absolutely. Almost always, the answer is no. Take no one really cares about me. Is there truly not a single person on earth who cares? Even a little? Maybe a friend checks in occasionally. Maybe a colleague notices when you are down. Maybe a neighbor smiles and says hello. Maybe a stranger held the door for you. No mind may dismiss these as not enough, because it is comparing them to some idealized vision of care. But from a karmic view, even small kindness are signs that the world is not completely against you. When you soften the extremes of yourself minus talk, the knot loosen. Another key tool is learning to sit with uncomfortable feelings without immediately reacting. This is what many traditions call midfulsons. Imagine you are sitting by a river. The water is your mind. Thoughts and emotions are leaves, sticks, and foam floating by. Normally, when a painful thought appears, you jump into the river, grab it, spin with it, drown in it. Midfulsons is the practice of staying on the bank. A resentment thought floats by. He ruined my life. You notice the heat in your chest, the tension in your shoulders, but you do not immediately add more fuel with stories. You label it silently, resentment, and let it move. A self-hating thought appears. I am worthless. You feel the sag in your stomach, the urge to collapse. You label it self-judgment, and let it move. At first, the current is strong. You may still get pulled in. That is okay. Every time you notice you have fallen and unclimb out again, you are training a new muscle. Over time, you spend more minutes on the bank and fewer drowning. This does not magically erase the knots, but it prevents them from getting tired. It gives you the space to choose different responses. Compassion both for yourself and others is like warm water poured on tangled string. It does not yank or force. It softens. When you imagine the person who hurt you as a 3-dimensional human being shaped by their own knots, their childhood, their fears, their ignorance, your anger may not disappear, but it changes flavor. It becomes less like you are a demon and more like you are another tangled being who hurt me from your confusion. That shift does not excuse them, but it releases you from seeing the world only in black and white. And when you include yourself in that frame, seeing your own harmful actions as products of confusion, fear, and pain, you find a middle way between denial and self-hatred. Ancient wisdom from many cultures echoes the same point. The more tightly you clutch, the more you suffer. Lao Tzu spoke of the soft overcoming the hard, the yielding defeating the rigid. You can see this in a tree that bends in a storm and survives, versus a dry branch that insists on staying stiff and snaps. Your heart is like that tree. When it insists on clinging to one timeline, one person, one version of success, one image of itself, it becomes brittle. Life's winds will break it. When it learns to bend to say, I wanted this, but reality gave me that, I will grow with it, it remains alive. In this context, is not a prison but a teacher. Every knot you feel is a signpost pointing to a place you can awaken. If you feel a knot of envy when a friend succeeds, you are being shown your own insecurity and your belief that there is not enough goodness to go around. You can use that moment to practice rejoicing. May their success be stable. May I also find my own path. If you feel a knot of shame when you remember something you did wrong, you are being shown a part of yourself that needs both accountability and tenderness. You can use that moment to resolve to act differently and to forgive your own past ignorance. Every knot, if approached with awareness, becomes a doorway. Let us come back to Mia, the woman whose heart felt tight every day. One evening, after another restless day, she stumbles upon a talk about letting go, not in the sense of stop caring, but in the sense of stop strangling yourself with what you cannot control. Something in her recognizes the truth of what she hears. She decides to try one simple experiment. Every night before she sleeps, she takes 10 minutes to write down the things that are worrying her or hurting her. For each one, she asks, what part of this can I act on? And what part is beyond my control right now? If she writes, my mother's health is declining, she might see that she cannot stop aging, but she can schedule regular calls, research care options, and be more patient during visits. If she writes, I am afraid I will be alone forever, she may realize that she cannot force a relationship to appear, but she can join activities she enjoys, work on becoming kinder to herself, and open her heart to meeting people without desperation. After writing, she closes her eyes and imagines placing all the things she cannot control into a river, letting them float. She may feel silly at first, but with repetition, this becomes a ritual of surrender. At the same time, she chooses one small action each day from the I can act on this list. It might be sending a message, going for a walk, apologizing to someone, or just going to bed earlier instead of scrolling. None of this is dramatic. There is no overnight transformation. But month after month, her heart starts to feel a little lighter. The knots are still there, but they are no longer pulling so hard. There are small spaces of ease between them. From the outside, her life does not look radically different. But inside, she has shifted from being a captive of her knots to being a gentle caretaker of them. This is real spiritual practice. It is not about escaping the world and floating above your problems. It is about learning to meet your inner life with honesty, patience, and courage. As we move toward the end of this sharing, I want to connect all of this back to the big themes: awakening, wisdom, karma, compassion, and destiny. Awakening is not a single lightning bolt that instantly cuts all knots. It is the slow dawning realization, moment by moment, that you do not have to believe every story your mind tells. It is noticing, here is the knot of regret again, or here comes the knot of fear, and choosing not to tighten it. Wisdom is seeing cause and effect clearly. You notice how certain ways of thinking always lead to tension, and certain ways of thinking lead to space. You see that hatred of others or yourself never produces true peace. You see that clinging to fixed images of how life must be always ends in pain, because life, by its nature, moves. Compassion is the willingness to be kind, especially in the places that hurt. When you put your hand over your own knotted chest and say softly, "Of course you are tired. You have been holding so much. Let us breathe." That is compassion. When you look at someone acting out of their knots and think, "You must be in pain to act like this," that is compassion. Karma and destiny are not rigid scripts. They are patterns that can be softened by new understanding. The knots you have now may be the result of old causes, but how you relate to them now creates new causes. If you respond with awareness and kindness, your future will feel different, even if the external circumstances look similar. Your destiny is not magically rewritten by wishing. It is gradually reshaped by these small inner choices. So if your heart often feels tight, if your mind feels crowded with what if only, never again, and always, I want you to know two things. First, you are not broken. You are not alone. Many hearts are walking around in this world, knotted like yours, wrapped in invisible ropes of story and fear. The fact that you can feel your knots is already a sign of sensitivity and potential. Some people are so numb that they do not even realize their hearts are tied. Second, you are not powerless. The knots will not disappear in a single day. But every breath of awareness, every act of self minus honesty, every moment of genuine letting go, loosens them. You are allowed to ask for help from teachers, from friends, from therapists, from spiritual communities, from whatever image of wisdom and compassion speaks to your heart. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to not know, and to keep walking anyway. I would love to hear from you. Have you ever noticed a specific knot in your heart, maybe a regret, a grudge, a fear, and then, after some time and effort, felt it loosen? Was there a sentence, a practice, a person, or a moment that helped you breathe a little more freely? Or are you right now in the middle of a season where everything feels tangled, and you are searching for a thread to pull? If you feel comfortable, share your stories in the comments. You might discover that the knot you thought was uniquely yours is shared by many others. Your experience could be the mirror someone else needs to recognize their own pattern and begin to untie it. If this long conversation resonated with you, please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. Your support helps keep this space alive so we can continue exploring together how to live with more awareness, wisdom, and freedom from the invisible ropes of karma. If you would like to walk even more closely, consider joining as a channel member, where we dive deeper into guided reflections, practical exercises, and stories from the journey of awakening and letting go. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end. May your heart, with all its knots, be held gently. May the tight places soften, one breath at a time. May you find the courage to face your pain without becoming it, and the wisdom to loosen your grip on what no longer serves you. And may you discover, step by step, that beneath all the knots, your true heart is wide, spacious, and capable of a freedom you might not yet dare to imagine.
Life gets noisy. Work, stress, expectations. Sometimes we lose touch with the quiet part of ourselves. Bracelet isn't just an accessory. It's a small reminder that you deserve peace. You deserve moments of stillness. You deserve to hold on to your inner balance. If one of these bracelets speaks to your heart, you'll find the purchase link in the description below. And even more auctions available on our channel's shop page. Pick home the one that feels right.